So this man walked into a court and filed a civil lawsuit against God. What happened next will shock you. So his name is Ernie Chambers. He was a Nebraska state senator at the time. He was born on July 10th, 1937 in Omaha, Nebraska, and grew up poor in a black neighborhood. He earned a law degree in 1979, but never took the bar exam because he didn't want to join the system. Instead, he ran for state senate in 1970, won, and kept winning for the next 38 years. By 2007, he had served longer than any Nebraska legislator in history. But he had an unanswered question on his mind for years. And in 2007, a new law gave him the chance to get kind of an answer. Nebraska made a new law that year, allowing any citizen to file a lawsuit against anyone in the state, no matter how powerful they are, without paying fees first. The goal was to prevent big companies from hiding behind money. Ernie hated frivolous lawsuits, but he also hated judges who dismissed cases too quickly. So on September 14th, 2007, he walked into Douglas County District Court in Omaha and filed a civil lawsuit. And the defendant was God. So the case was officially between Ernie versus God. In his complaint, he claimed God caused widespread death, destruction, and terrorization of millions of the Earth's inhabitants. He listed floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, plagues, famines, genocidal wars, birth defects, devastating winds. The list keeps going on and on. He said these acts created ongoing terror. He asked the court to issue a permanent injunction ordering God to stop all harmful activities immediately, and he also demanded $5 trillion in damages. Ernie told reporters he had two reasons for filing the suit. First, to prove the new law truly let any person sue anyone with no barriers. Second, to show that courts shouldn't dismiss cases just because they sounded ridiculous. The court clerk accepted the filing on September 17th, 2007. The case even got a real case number. But there was one huge problem. Someone had to serve the papers to God. Court rules require the defendant to get official notice. But Ernie wrote on the summons that God is omnipresent and therefore already knew about the lawsuit. He told the clerk that God had already been summoned by prayer. On October 3rd, 2007, the Douglas County District Judge dismissed the case. And the reason is because God had no known address, so proper service could never be completed. Without service, the court had no jurisdiction. He appealed the same day. He argued that God is everywhere, so service was impossible to fail. And on April 24th, 2008, the Nebraska Appeals Court heard the case. 3 judges listened to Ernie argue in person. He said if God exists and is all-knowing, God already had notice, or was probably there with them in court. But if God doesn't exist, the case harms no one. But on April 24th, 2008, the appeals court upheld the dismissal. They said that even though God might be everywhere, the law still requires a physical address for service. Since no address exists, the case couldn't move forward. A few days later, Ernie announced he would not appeal to the Nebraska Supreme Court. He said he had made his point. The lawsuit had cost taxpayers nothing because he represented himself and filed no motions requiring fees, proving the new law truly stands. Reporters asked if he really believed God caused disasters. He said the suit was never about theology, but about showing that courts must follow their rules no matter who the defendant is. The original court file is still kept in Omaha. It's 8 pages long. The last line of the dismissal order reads, "This case is dismissed for lack of service on the defendant." Ernie served in the Nebraska legislature until term limits forced him out in 2009. He came back in 2013 and served until 2021. He is now retired at age 88. It still sounds unbelievable. A state senator sued God for natural disasters and wars, and the courts threw it out because God has no mailing address. So what do you think? Did Ernie go too far to make a point about the legal system? Or did he do what everyone secretly feels about the courts and natural disasters? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.